So here's the new Gen 3 Pentastar rocker arm. And you can see it's different. It's, here's the surfaces that run up against the cam. So it's different from Gen 1 and 2. So the problem is this. Why is these problems happening in the first place? Gen 1 and 2, the bearing, they say, well, it's the bearings in there. Well, how come the bearing, when it wears up and down typically? It's really, what it is the inside of the bearing. This part right here, let me point to it. It's the very center right here. See? That little bar in there, it's smaller on this one. And more bearing size on this one than the Gen 2, Gen 1. So it's not necessarily the needle bearings in there, it's the metal that was made on the early ones was a cheaper metal. And everybody knows that, they just don't talk about it. So if you don't change your oil on a Gen 3, if you go 10,000 miles, people, the micron crap that's in the oil, and your oil being too thin, 0, 20, 5, 20, come on, same thing. The 20 is not thick enough for your car. You don't have to worry about that top number. I run some really thick oils in my car sometimes, and up to 60 weight, just to show people you can do it. There's a guy on YouTube that says he runs 1060. Well, I've done it several times. Castor Oil makes an oil like that. Many of the supercars demand that, and they said, well, you can't put that in a Pentastar because of the tolerances. So you're telling me a Lamborghini has less tolerances than a Pentastar? Come on. People, grow up. This is America, Cafe, California. They want you to eat poop, and they want you to save the environment or whatever. I don't know what they want you to do. But save gasoline, I don't know what it is. They're tree huggers, they're Democrats, And you can believe them if you want. Go ahead, change your oil every 10,000 miles. Your motor's not going to last long. Maybe it'll last long. I don't think it will. So, anyway, use thicker oil, at least 530, at least. Many Pentastars came with that. And then, when it's cold, it's got the lower bottom number anyway, so what does it matter, So, sorry about that. But use at least 530 in it. If not, I just changed my oil today. I put 1030 in it. Sometimes I put thicker oil. It depends. I put 2050 in it just to see if it ran okay. The VVT ran fine. I know some of the Hemis you can't do it in them, but I don't know. The Pentastars love the thicker oil. I'm just telling you. And there's Pentastar clubs out there that have, a lot of experience, and as the motor ages, they put thicker oil and don't think anything of it. They would never put 520 in it. JT with online mechanic tips, if he wasn't a Chrysler mechanic, he'd tell you the same thing, but he's limited in what he can really tell you. He knows thicker oil protects better. He knows that for a fact. So I'm just telling you. So here's the new rocker arm, and it is different from Gen 2 and Gen 1, but it's still prone to the same failure. And if you don't change your oil, I change my oil between 1 and 3,000 miles, usually 1 to 2, and it's all local miles. Remember, local miles are 10 times more than highway miles. So it's not how many miles you have on your oil, it's how many hours. And so if you think like that, instead of, like an engineer would, instead of acting like a simpleton, you'll change your oil more often based on the mileage that you drive. So hope this helps. And change your oil frequently and use a heavier oil than they recommend. Not during warranty probably, but, if you want your motor to last, I just watched Scotty Kilmer. He said put Slick 50 in it. And he's got several cars with almost 300,000 miles on them. And I agree. I used that for 25 years. Now I use more Motor Coat. Watch one of my other videos on Motor Coat. It's used by more big truckers. And I've had no oil failures. I got 100,000 on my car right now. And it just runs perfect. Change the plugs. Not a whole lot more. Clean the throttle body. Watch my videos. Tell you how to do all that. Change it. How to change the plugs, and I tell you some of the things the big guys don't tell you. And because I've done it, and they fail to mention the really hard stuff. So I tell you how to do it, and if you know the Pentastar motor, if you don't know what you're doing, don't attempt to change the spark plugs. You'll screw that motor up. But if you want to check the resistors, check the resistance of the plugs, and make sure everything's working okay, watch my videos. You'll learn a lot, and you'll do it right, and then you can sleep at night, and you don't have to worry about your car breaking down because you know it's going to be okay. Okay? Hope this helps. Have a nice evening.